Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
SIR Carestarmer today hit back at U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance for branding Britain, some random country that hasn't fought a war in 30 or 40 years. Some 636 Brits died fighting alongside the United States in Iraq and Afghanistan, with the comments branded deeply offensive. Donald Trump's deputy sparked fury from a chorus of UK politicians, armed forces heroes, and the public. Downing Street this afternoon appeared to rebuke the vice president with a robust defense of British troop service. Asked about the comments, the PM's spokesman said, "The Prime Minister, and I think this whole country is full of admiration for British troops who served. For instance, in Iraq and Afghanistan, many of whom have lost their lives in the process, and obviously alongside allies, including the United States. It's very clear that their courage and bravery has helped to ensure global security, defend our values, our national interests, and our focus, once again, is on how we protect our national interests and global security by progressing the discussions to secure last increase for Ukraine." Mr. Vance the remarks while pressing Volodymyr Zelensky to sign a minerals deal following their extraordinary dust-up in the Oval Office last week. He also appeared to dismiss Sir Keir's pledge to station peacekeeping troops in Ukraine following any ceasefire deal with Russia. Mr. Vance told Fox News, "If you want real security guarantees, if you want to actually ensure that Vladimir Putin does not invade Ukraine again, the very best security guarantee is to give Americans economic upside in the future of Ukraine. That is a way better security guarantee than 20,000 troops from some random country that hasn't fought a war in 30 or 40 years." Mr. Vance later claimed it was absurdly dishonest to suggest he was criticizing either Britain or France, despite them being the only countries to publicly commit to peacekeeping forces in Ukraine. Following the backlash, he tried to clarify, "I don't even mention the UK or France in the clip, both of whom have fought bravely alongside the US over the last 20 years and beyond." Politicians of all stripes rounded on the remarks, alongside several former high-ranking soldiers. Former Veterans Minister Johnny Mercer, who served as a commando in Afghanistan, said, "Vance needs to wind his neck in." He added, "Show a bit of respect and stop making yourself look so unpleasant." Shadow Defense Secretary James Cartledge rebuked Mr. Vance for being deeply disrespectful for ignoring such service and sacrifice of British troops. It comes as ex-armed forces minister and veteran James Heapy hit back at Mr. Vance's sad interpretation of history. He said, "Serving with America and France were defining moments of my military career. Sad to hear the relationship reduced to this." Branding the comments deeply offensive, Lib Dem MP and former Major Mike Martin said, "I've been under fire with American soldiers in Afghanistan, a war we joined to support them after 9/11. His party colleague Helen Maguire, a former captain, added, "J.D. Vance is erasing from history the hundreds of British troops who gave their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan. I saw firsthand how American and British soldiers fought bravely together, shoulder to shoulder. 6 of my own regiment, the Royal Military Police, didn't return home from Iraq. This is a sinister attempt to deny that reality. Show a bit of respect and stop making yourself look so unpleasant." SAS legend Andy McNabb, who fought in the First Gulf War, said, "He needs to read the names of the dead who have fought and shed blood alongside U.S. troops." Ex-Army Chief General Sir Patrick Sanders said, "I fought alongside the U.S. in Iraq and Afghanistan over almost 2 decades, so I obviously don't agree with Vance's remarks." Former First Sea Lord Admiral Lord West slammed Mr. Vance's comments as utterly disgraceful. The ex-Navy Chief and Security Minister said, "We lost over 450 men and women, plus 3,000 very badly injured when we went into Afghanistan post-9/11 with America as its allies. NATO had invoked Article 5. It is utterly disgraceful that Vance ignores that and says such things. He is a ghastly man, I am afraid." Ex-Royal Marine Ben McBean, who lost an arm and a leg in Afghanistan, told Mr. Vance to shut the F** up. Ben told our channel, "I got injured in Afghanistan and it is going to last me the rest of my life." He never got his hands dirty. He's never seen the sharp end of the work, so shut the F** up. Ben acknowledged Mr. Vance had served 4 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, but said his job was taking pictures. Mr. Vance served 4 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, including a short 6-month tour as public affairs soldier. Sir Keir has called on European allies to form a coalition of the willing to keep the peace in Ukraine if a deal is reached. Mr. Trump today halted all U.S. military aid to Ukraine for the foreseeable future. The U.S. has now paused aid to the war-torn country until Zelensky's government shows a commitment to peace negotiations, a senior Trump administration official told Fox News. By James Halpin, foreign news reporter. Britain has fought in some 11 conflicts since 1990. The most dangerous were the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan. 636 brave Brits gave their lives fighting alongside the U.S. as it prosecuted the war on terror. Afghanistan. Britain joined the U.S. in Afghanistan in 2001 after New York was attacked when al-Qaeda terrorists flew passenger jets into the World Trade Center towers. Washington invoked Article 5 of the NATO alliance, the same section which Europe now fears America may ignore, leading to a Russian invasion. 457 British troops were killed in Afghanistan as they fought in Kabul, Kandahar, and Helmand, and tried to cut out a Taliban insurgency. UK troops were part of a multinational force, the International Security Assistance Force, that also provided security for the transitional government and rebuild the country. The UK had combat troops in Afghanistan until 2014, but continued to be involved until 2021 before the Allied force withdrew. Iraq. Tony Blair decided to join George Bush for his invasion of Iraq, and to remove Saddam Hussein from power after bad intelligence led leaders to believe the dictator was trying to build nuclear weapons. Operation Telic, as the British deployment was known, is the biggest since WW2 and consisted of 46,000 troops being sent to the country for the invasion. 179 Brits died between 2003 and 2009, with thousands more wounded. After the capture of Saddam, British forces continued to patrol and attempted to maintain security in the country in a counterinsurgency operation. But the power vacuum created by the disbanding of Iraq's armed forces created an insurgency and the growth of jihadi groups. British forces bravely fought through ambushes and a guerrilla war to help stabilize the country, and then totally withdrawing in 2009. The official said, "This is not permanent termination of aid, it's a pause." Trump's move might have an immediate impact on Ukrainian stockpiles, though some experts believe the country has enough weapons to fight until the summer at its current level. It will affect all American military equipment not delivered to Ukraine, including weapons in transit and currently in Poland. The directive also suspends funding for the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, which uses U.S. monies to purchase new gear. On Monday, Trump said that Zelensky will not be around very long unless he agrees to America's terms on a peace deal. He told reporters at the White House, "It should not be that hard a deal to make. It could be made very fast. Now, maybe somebody doesn't want to make a deal, and if somebody doesn't want to make a deal, I think that person won't be around very long. That person will not be listened to very long." It comes just hours after the U.S. president blasted Zelensky in a Truth Social post, saying, "This guy doesn't want there to be peace." Trump was responding to a quote from the Ukrainian leader in which he said an end to the conflict with Russia is still very, very far away. The Republican firebrand described his quotes as the worst statement that could have been made. His post continued, "America will not put up with it for much longer."